Welcome to MiiQuest. Today I'm going to show you how to use Dropboxes in a collaboration and assessment group. Dropboxes are powerful tools for gathering and organizing the work that students are doing for a particular assignment or project. And with their easy-to-use version controls, they can also be used to support formative assessment through the drafting and revision process. Dropboxes are available for any assignment that's posted to a collaboration group, be it a custom activity or a TechSteps activity. For this tutorial, we're going to assume that you have already created a group. We're going to work with a 10th grade English class that has a large writing project coming up. We'll start from the Library tab, and then we'll choose TechSteps 9 through 12 Core. Now we'll select the English category. Our project today is going to be based on the book Persuasion and Politics. We'll click Assign, and on the Post Assignment page, we'll click the group down arrow and assign it to our 10th grade English class. We'll post it to students now, and we'll set the due date. Under Submit Method, we're going to choose Dropbox. Dropboxes allow students to submit their work through MiiQuest using online Dropboxes, which have their own closing date. Using a Dropbox eliminates the need for paper copies of students' work. The Dropbox close date is the last day students can submit their work electronically. Once this due date has passed, the Dropbox for this assignment will no longer accept students' submissions. Most of the time you'll probably want to set the assignment and Dropbox close due dates to be the same. We'll take a closer look at how this process works in just a minute. When you've got the activity configured the way you like, click the Assign button. Let's take a look at this now from the student's perspective. Logging in as our student Philip, on the Recent Activity page, he now sees a post from his teacher with the assignment on Persuasion and Politics. The assignment's due date also appears on his planner. He can click on it from either page, which will take him to the Assignment Details page, where he'll see information about the task, the assessment, and the due date. Submitting a file to the Dropbox is very similar to attaching a file to an email, which is a process many students will already be familiar with. In the Dropbox section, you can see that Philip has not yet submitted anything to his Dropbox, and he's prompted to click the New Version button. Just like an email, he'll click Attach File to upload his project. On the Upload File dialog box, he'll click Attach File and then locate the file on his computer, and then click Open. He can repeat this process to upload multiple files, and he can even add web links. He can also access and share files he's already stored in his personal folders in the MiiQuest library. At this point, once files are entered here, they're stored on MiiQuest even before he submits them to his teacher. If they're not all ready for submission yet, he can leave the website and come back another day, knowing they'll still be here. He can also delete the files in this version, or just some of them. Once he's ready, he can click the Submit button to send the files to his teacher. Only once a version of the files are submitted will the teacher have access to that version. The files are now uploaded to the Dropbox, and his status icon changes to show that his project has been successfully submitted. If Philip thinks he's made a mistake and wants to upload a new version, all he has to do is click the New Version button and upload new files using the same process. Now both versions are stored in the Dropbox, 1 and 2, and he can make notes to his teacher in this box if needed. As long as the Dropbox due date hasn't passed yet, Philip can continue to upload as many versions as necessary. Once the Dropbox close due date arrives, then the Dropbox will no longer accept submissions for the assignment. Now let's check back in with our teacher. We don't have to wait until the due date is passed to perform assessment. A teacher can view Dropbox submissions immediately after they're submitted. This enables us to easily provide formative assessment and offer feedback to students who submit their work early. Students can then revise their work based on the feedback and resubmit it to the Dropbox before the final due date. Assessing submissions from the Dropbox is easy. First, we'll find our group on the left-hand menu. We'll click the Performance section, just like we would to assess any other activity. Here's Persuasion and Politics, and we'll click Assess on the right side of the screen. In our little class of 3 students, we can quickly see from the Dropbox icons that 2 of our students have already submitted projects, while 1 has not, and the status field allows us to easily monitor students' progress throughout the duration of the project. What we want to do now is view the submissions. To do this, we'll click on the Dropbox icon. From here, we can select which version we want to download and view any associated notes from the students. By default, we will always be shown the latest version submitted by the student. Since we want the latest version, next to Files, we'll click on the blue link here to access the project from the Dropbox. Depending on your web browser settings and the type of file, you can either download the file to your local computer or open it in your browser. We're going to open it right now and have a look at the project. The file will open and we can view it, save it to a local folder if we like, and perform our assessment. To assess the assignment, click on the score placeholder on the grade assignment screen. We can even use separate windows to allow us to read through the project and assess it as we go. We won't have to worry about keeping the files we've downloaded from the Dropbox, since they're already stored and organized in the Dropbox. Once we've entered our assessment, the Dropbox for that student will close, even if it's before the Dropbox due date. Another useful feature with the Dropbox, especially for writing projects, is the ability to encourage revisions. With our initial assessment complete, and now that our students have received our comments, there's still some time left before the assignment's due date, so we'll invite the students who've already submitted projects to revise them based on our feedback and resubmit them. All we have to do is reopen the Dropbox by clicking here. We can write a note and click Done, and the student will receive the details and comments from the assessment we just entered and a post requesting a new revision. This is also great for granting extensions to specific students who need a bit of extra time on the project. If, however, we wanted to extend the Dropbox due date for the entire class, we'd go back to the Performance page and edit the assignment post itself. This will extend the Dropbox close date for any students who've not yet submitted work. When we make a significant change in an assignment after posting it, we'll see a prompt reminding us that this may affect students and will be shown some options. For this project, we'll update the assignment and repost it to students so that they're aware of the changes that we've made. We'll switch back to our student Philip again and show you what this looks like. The post we just sent will display on the Recent Activity page with a request for revision. When the student goes to his Performance page, he can view the rubric with his assessment scores and see any specific comments from the teacher. From the Assignment Details page, the student can submit a new draft of his project with their requested revisions using the same process as before. Even with all these versions of files and revision requests, the Dropbox keeps everything organized, and it's easy to see from the status field what stage of the process each student is currently in and when assessment is needed. Dropboxes are powerful tools for gathering and organizing student files, and they're especially useful when implemented as part of a formative assessment strategy. We hope you enjoy the Dropbox feature. Thanks for using MiiQuest.